What is going on, MTA viewers, and welcome back to the channel for another installment of some of the collection that we have right here in the MTA compound. And right now I'm going to take you over to the shop where we build all of our monster trucks for the races. Alright, so welcome inside the MTA shop, and this right here is where we build and maintain all the monster trucks that you see on the MTA YouTube channel. Right now we got a few projects underway. We stepped out of the shop for a little while to do a little more racing on the track, so we're going to be heading back into the shop as the winter months progress and hopefully crank out a lot more cooler builds and do some unique stuff that's never been done before. It's getting harder though, because there's a lot of builders out there, you know, really pushing the envelope with their creations, and some are good and some are not so great, but hey, we're not here to judge, we're here to have fun, man. And this is where all the trucks get built, right here in the MTA shop that you see racing up and down the track. But today we're going to go over to another part of the collection, and we're going to talk about some old USHRA Monster Jam programs that we've got right here at the MTA compound. Alright, so jumping over to the other side of the room, this is where I have all of the old programs that I've collected since I was a kid, from 1992 all the way to 2022. I am missing a few. Don't have 2007, do not have 2020, but we'll get to that. And basically, we're going to go back and check out most of these and what's inside of them. They used to come with some really awesome posters, like this right here, the 1994 souvenir yearbook. It's got Gravedigger number 3 on the cover. Came with a really cool poster, which I have on the wall over there. But I mean, just some of the cool stuff that you would see in these programs, and some of the things you'd read about the drivers and the trucks and how they were made back in the day. I mean, it's just some really cool stuff. And this was one of the first programs I ever had as a kid. Still have it to this day. Pretty good condition. And you know, that was the mystique back in the day. There wasn't a lot of social media and everything going on. It wasn't, you know, blown up in your face, so you had to really learn your information that you wanted from these programs, and it really just left you in awe. If you were a diehard monster truck fan like I was, you know, never did have this Game Boy game because, you know, we just didn't have the money, I guess. But I mean, a lot of cool stuff that you would read inside of these programs and learn about the history of the truck, where they're from, and just some really cool unique features. And this is actually where you could learn about Tom Mintz and Mud Patrol back in the day. So I mean, it's just really cool stuff that you would see back then. So I'll put 1995 back. We'll pull out 1996 right here, one of my favorites by far. And you know, just going through this book, I have the poster of this as well. There's old Gravedigger number 7. But I mean, seeing this and just look at the awesome pictures that were done back in the day to make these programs come to life. And not that the newer ones aren't that way, but man, some of this older stuff is just what I grew up on. It's what I hold close to my heart, and I try to reflect that a lot with the die-cast races that we hold over on the MTA YouTube channel, bringing back the names such as Boogie Van and Black Stain, which you don't see around too much unless you really are a die-hard fan. Fred Schaefer's old Barefoot right there. I mean, just some of the cool stuff that you would see in these books and get to read about just kind of left you in awe back in the day. If you were a 90s kid like me and you read all this stuff, I mean, you were just fascinated by the pictures, the artwork. I mean, it was all so cool to see in these books. And this is what really the only thing you had besides watching some old VHS tapes, if you were lucky enough to have them at your house. So I'm going to pull 1998 right here, and this one sticks out. Gravedigger 12 had already been out, but this was the first time I ever saw a picture of it. Was on the cover of the 1998 program, and I thought, man, there's purple in it and the letters are straight. And I thought that was so crazy how they changed up the paint on the truck. It was so unique and new to me. And I never saw a Gravedigger with the straight letters and purple in it until 2002, because at the time they were still running the old shoulder bodies, and they still had the stacked letters on a lot of the old ones. And at the time, Dennis was the only one in Digger 12 with the purple and straight letters. So it took a few years before I actually got to see it. I wish they would go back to that old style paint job, just as a throwback or something. I know they did it at the World Finals a few years back, and I mean, it's cool, but to see it run regularly would be really cool. But yeah, 1998, I remember seeing that. Still have the poster to this one as well. But yeah, we'll move on from 98 and we'll go into 2000. All right, so moving along, we've got 1999 right here with number 12 on it, Gravedigger, Monster Patrol. 2000 was the first year that they did the calendar style. They only did it for a couple years. Tom Mintz and Goldberg, I've got his autograph on the front. From 2060, it's really 2000, but it's just funny to say. Anyway, I mean, some cool stuff in here as well. if you were lucky enough to get a year 2000 program, I mean, you got to see, this is the first year we're going to see Las Vegas World Finals. That was all the talk back then, and for what it is, that event is so special to me. I mean, it was so big at the time. And then, of course, you would always fantasize over stuff like this, man. Getting the box set of Inside Monster Jam. Funny story with that, I have 2 copies of those. I'll have to get to them in another video. If you guys want to hear about it, leave a comment down below if you want to see even more of the MTA collection. But yeah, this right here is what started the calendar. I mean, just look at that awesome artwork right here, man. That is so cool. You got Gravedigger 12 right there. But I mean, 2000 was definitely a changing year in the monster truck industry. And Jim Jack's Reptoids autograph. I mean, we've got several autographs. Alan Pizzo, Larry Jarzell. I mean, so many great names that have run and competed. So, I mean, I'm just showing you guys what we've got. Here's old Gravedigger number 3. A lot of people don't know that was a Gravedigger, but Nitro Machine, built in 1999. Jim McShay actually painted that truck. Pretty cool stuff to see, man. And, you know, I just figured I'd share some of this stuff with you, you know, some of my collection, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it. So we'll move on from 2000 and go up to 2002. All right, so the first year for Team Mints, as WCW was bought out by the World Wrestling Federation in 2001, March to be exact. This book is 22 years old, and I've had it ever since then from Landover, Maryland. And this was actually the first year I saw Scott Pontbiron. That's his autograph right there. He was in Gravedigger 8. That's 14 pictured there. He rolled the truck over in that little arena that night, which was the first time I ever saw Gravedigger roll over. And I'm going to try to find the, yeah, here it is right here. I remember reading this when I was about 12 years old and then seeing the 20th anniversary artwork come to life. That's like a rendition they did. And then just a few months later, it was on TNN Motor Madness, and seeing Dennis Rocket on Gravedigger 14 was super cool. Always wanted the VHS tape, finally got it, and, you know, as I got older and everything. But because YouTube wasn't a thing back then, but you know, 20th anniversary of Black Stallion was going on at the same time. But seeing the rendition of Gravedigger, a lot of people don't know that's Tyler Miniger right there in that little picture right there, so that's pretty cool. And then, like I was just saying, TNN Motor Madness, that was the show to watch. Always loved TNN Motor Madness with Mike Hogwood, Scott Douglas commentating. It was such a Dan Moriarty down in the pits. It was always a fun time. Here's some of the merchandise you could get. Rev Treads, the Hot Wheels were just coming out. They were only a couple years old. The Monster Jam stickers, which I have a whole set of those, and then the How to Draw and the Amazing Guide, I actually have those as well. And then the Snap Tight Gravedigger model, which we have right there. So pretty cool stuff to see. And then, you know, just a lot of the old stuff that you would see back then. I believe this was also what left me in shock too. Rick Dishroom Backdraft, I met him so long ago. John C. Sox, Sudden Impact. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. So I remember flipping through this book when I was a kid, and I saw Barefoot Carolina Crusher Monster Patrol, and it said Paul Schaefer Motorsports on it. And I never could figure it out because it was always Gary Porter, Fred Schaefer, Paul Schaefer, Tom Mintz. And then that's when I'd learned, you know, just digging on the interwebs back in the day, or even just local talk with a couple buddies, and you know, we found out that Paul Schaefer had bought out the whole operation and then some. There were so many more trucks he acquired with it. So unfortunately, we see where they have gone now. I mean, I can't say unfortunately, but you know, it is what it is, and I'll leave it at that. 2004 right here. This book holds a near and dear place in my heart because I got this book. I have 2 of these, but this first one I got was in 2004. First time I ever got to go down to the dungeon. And then I had Dennis sign it for me, if I could find it. Here it is. So he signed that for me in 2004. It was the first time I ever got to meet him. So, you know, that was a great year. We went to Hagerstown, Maryland a couple weeks later, I'm sorry. And I actually picked up another book and had the rest of the drivers sign it too. So that was super cool to see. 2011, what a year that was. Right before the 30th anniversary. I mean, these guys were just revving up. This was probably prime time Monster Jam. I mean, I'd say all 2000s was prime time Monster Jam, man. You know, sorry if I'm going a little too quick. We had Dennis Anderson sign this. This was in Baltimore. Dennis, Adam, and Ryan have signed this book for me, so which was pretty cool. I got to meet all them guys again. Alex Blackwell, Captain's Curse. I've got a few other signatures in here as well, but I mean, it was just an all-around great show there in Baltimore that year. And then you go over to the 30th anniversary. Everybody loves this book. The artwork on it is super cool. You know, way different than anything you'd see today. It's kind of more just plain Jane, which is okay too, I guess. But the wild and crazy artwork that they used to have, and then you get the timeline of the Gravedigger history, 25th anniversary, 20. I mean, there's old number 7 right there. I mean, just some really cool stuff in these books. So if you're ever at a Monster Jam show, Monster Truck Throwdown show, I mean, always get one of these books, man, and check it out and see what's going on. You can learn a lot from these books, believe it or not. I used to read them religiously. Jumping over to this right here is actually the first and only Monster Truck magazine, the official Monster Jam magazine. And Gravedigger number 7's on the cover of it. He's autographed it there. So, I mean, some really cool stuff. He's Pablo's Gravedigger right there. Tom Mintz autographed it, Goldberg, 2001. So, there's Gravedigger right there. I mean, just some really cool stuff. Gunslinger, cock locked and ready to rock. Lyle Hancock, man. That dude was a character, but I love him to death. He's a great driver, no doubt. Tony Farrell, he's missed a lot too, man. Of, you know, just good reputations and good wholesome people. John Seasock, the legend in his own right, sudden impact in that camp. You know, always enjoyed watching him. Jim Jack and Reptoid, man, the Florida boys were out and about in the early 2000s. But I just wanted to show you guys some of the programs that we have here at the MTA compound. There's so many more, and now today these things are so thick it's like reading a small textbook, so to speak. But I mean, they're really cool, and you know, keeps you up to date with what Monster Jam's doing, some of the new things that could be coming. They leave you in speculation a lot of the time, but nonetheless, I mean, it's so cool to have a lot of these, you know, still in my possession. And then I have so many more other Mud Life magazines and Monster Truck Throwdown and a couple independent shows. I have all those too. And you know, if you guys like this video, man, be sure to let me know down below, and I'll get into the old VHS tapes that I have. The Bigfoot, King of the Monster Trucks, Gravedigger's Domination, Battle Return, and War of the Monster Trucks. There's so many I can name off right now, but if you guys want to see those, I'll be happy to share them. So thanks a lot for viewing this, guys. This will wrap up for the program part of the MTA compound. If you want to see more or have any more questions, please, by all means, comment down below. Leave a like on the video and let me know what you want to see next. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to crush that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys down the road.